Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com, and in this video we're looking at some watches from Hamilton, a familiar look but a new package. This is the Hamilton Khaki Field Quartz Edition. So if you're new here, this is where we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as an authorized dealer. So in this video, deep dive on these new models, final considerations at the end, but also throughout the video, if you have further questions or are looking to buy one of these watches, we'll have a link in the description down below to the product page where you can also ask questions to our team members that will be on live chat. Without further ado, let's jump into the video, take a closer look at this watch. Hamilton is forging ahead with the expansion of their Khaki Field roster by looking back into their long and renowned history. And that look back has resulted in the most accessible point of entry into the Khaki Field lineup with the new Khaki Field Quartz collection. In doing so, Hamilton is bucking the trend of rising prices rippling throughout today's watch industry. Unfortunately, a more attainable price point doesn't affect the build quality that the brand is known for. In fact, apart from the tick of the Quartz secondhand and the reduced case height, you'll have a hell of a time distinguishing the new Khaki Field Quartz from its stablemate, the Khaki Field Mechanical. The story of Hamilton as a supplier of watches to the military is well documented, and you can see more of that history in our video highlighting everything to know about the Khaki Field collection. I'll put that in the description down below. The new Khaki Field Quartz is directly inspired by the Hamilton GS, or the General Service watch, produced in the 1960s for British government personnel. Those watches were mechanical, but Hamilton has decades of experience producing quartz versions of its field watches, beginning in the 1980s as mechanical movements fell out of favor. Several sizes and variants of quartz field watches appeared in the ensuing years, with some co-branded models sold by outdoor retailers like Eddie Bauer and most famously LL Bean. Bean in particular have sold millions of Hamiltons throughout their history, with the various models becoming collectibles to outdoor enthusiasts spanning generations. The new quartz models hark back to the heyday of 80s quartz with the stylized khaki logo on the dial. The new lineup features 4 colorways available in 2 case sizes, guaranteeing that there's virtually something for everyone in the new model range. And at a list price of $395, this point of entry into Hamilton becomes quite attractive. Throughout history, Hamilton's field watches have been produced in a range of sizes. Back in the day, they were typically small, measuring a mere 33 millimeters in diameter. If you have a smaller wrist or just crave a more vintage experience, the new Hamilton Khaki Field Quartz has you covered, as a 33 millimeter case version is available once again, as well as their contemporary best-selling size of 38 millimeters. Both sizes feature the style-correct bead-blasted stainless steel finish that you'll find throughout much of the Khaki Field line, which brings up an interesting point. Even though these watches represent the gateway into the Khaki Field lineup, you'll find that the case finishing and details are on the same level as the higher priced Khaki Field mechanical models, with those retailing around $595 on a nylon strap. In truth, you basically give up nothing in terms of build quality with these watches. Dimensions are as follows. The 33 millimeter diameter versions have a case that's a mere 7.5 millimeters thick, a byproduct of the thinner quartz movement on the inside. Lug to lug measures 40 millimeters, with the longer lugs helping the watch wear larger than the 33 millimeter diameter would suggest. The same is the case with the 38 millimeter version, which features a slim case height of 8.3 millimeters and 45 millimeter lug to lug. The crown is of the push-pull variety and helpfully on the larger side, with some aggressive ribbing that offers great grip. Water resistance is 50 meters, not suitable for diving, but adequate for most day-to-day activities and on par with other field watches. A flat sapphire crystal protects the dial and is a nice step up from many of the mineral crystals at this price point, although for some of the darker versions of these Khaki Fields, it will show some reflections more than its mineral peers. All 4 colorways come equipped with NATO-style fabric straps that fit the aesthetic brief perfectly. The blue dial versions naturally come with a matching blue nylon strap, while the blackout version appropriately gets a coordinated black strap. As for the black and the white vintage loom versions, they're equipped with an olive green nylon, and all 4 variants feature leather strap keepers and a stainless steel pin buckle. As for dial colors, you're truly spoiled for choice, as there are 4 versions available in both case sizes. The dials are inspired by service uniform colors, including blue with white loom, black with green loom, black with vintage loom, and white also with vintage loom. They all offer a great throwback look, punctuated by the khaki word mark above 6 that recalls those quartz models of the 1980s. 1980s. A vintage Hamilton logo and word mark appears below the orientation triangle at 12. The dial is uninterrupted by the date window, resulting in great symmetry, allowing the simple Arabic numerals to reinforce the field watch look. A railway-style minute track along the outer edge makes setting and reading the time a breeze. The subtle sword profile of the syringe-style hands is also era-appropriate, and the white hands are filled with matching lume. A white stick second hand features a lollipop counterweight, and the entire package makes for a superbly legible experience, brimming with retro goodness. When it comes to lume, Khaki models are not known for excelling in this department. However, the lume in these Quartz pieces is more than serviceable, benefiting from having Superluminova treated hour numerals, which make for more surface area shining in the dark than the mechanical counterparts. Now, one of the headlines with these new watches are the Quartz movements powering their operation. Inside the 33mm is the F05.105, while the 38mm calls upon the F06.105. The everyday viability is one of the major perks of a field watch, so adding improved accuracy, robustness, and cost savings is a seamless integration to these models. Similar to the mechanical offerings, these calibers are supplied by fellow Swatch Group company ETA. Both of these calibers deliver on the suite of features one comes to expect from a Swiss-made Quartz of the price, including a lengthy battery life, in this case a minimum of more than 5 years, an end-of-life indication which lets you know the battery is nearing depletion by ticking every few seconds instead of every second, and third, improved resistance to shock compared to most mechanical movements. Both the F05.105 and the F06.105 have 3 joules, hacking, and a feature called Heavy Drive, which increases the movement's torque, giving it the ability to drive larger and heavier handsets without straining. Bottom line, if you play hard, a Quartz movement is a no-brainer when it comes to durability and a set-it-and-forget-it level of convenience. So now some closing thoughts on these Hamilton Khaki Field Quartz models. I almost caught myself saying mechanical because I'm so used to going down that path here. But let's talk about some of the considerations on the cons and then also the pros. I think first off here, and it was almost the point in the slip that I had in saying that these were mechanical models, these are Quartz. And for many people out there, Quartz might just not jive with what they're used to when thinking about the Hamilton Khaki Field lineup. There is plenty of logic to support going the Quartz route, both on the pricing standpoint, the accuracy point, and then also being a robust movement on the inside, but watch purchases are not solely logical decisions. The water resistance of 50 meters mirrors more of the mechanical models versus the automatic versions that would have 100 meters. So 50 meters for some might not be fully cutting it. And then the sizes for the 33, which is going to be very small, but wear a little larger on the wrist, I would say like a 34 or 35 on wrist. And then the 38, which doesn't expand out the same way across the wrist, given that it is going to be shorter on that lug-to-lug length compared to the Khaki Field mechanicals. That might have some on the larger side of the spectrum here, maybe not being able to pull these off perfectly. But now shifting over to some of the pros, and where I'd like to start here is the fact that Hamilton is a brand that often listens to enthusiasts, and they're not so caught up in just understanding what's going on in the industry within this small little bubble. We've seen this adoption with things like the Murph, where they came out with a 38mm case, and bringing back a prop watch that so many enthusiasts were asking for. I say all this because many brands are just actively looking to elevate their brand, and one way they think to do that is by increasing prices. Very few times have we seen a brand go and take their retail price and try to think about how can we make our watches more attainable for people. But for a brand like Hamilton, that is a gateway for so many enthusiasts and collectors, it makes sense to be considering this. And for under $400, you get many of the same perks that come with the Khaki Field line. Iconic design, you have the retro looks to go along with it that I think are superbly done and greatly differentiating from the other versions within the Khaki Field line. Decent enough water resistance, everyday viability, versatility galore, and a design that frankly might be as timeless as any in the entire industry. If you want all of those things, but don't have maybe the money to spend, or maybe you've been on the fence about looking in the Khaki Field's direction, this might be the opportunity, and I honestly applaud Hamilton for not always just following the trend of where things are going, but considering who their buyers are, and for offering up a Khaki Field for under $400, that is a winning formula. All right, guys, that's all we have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Really do appreciate that. Also, these watches are available on TeddyBaldassarre.com. TeddyBaldassarre.com is a full authorized dealer of over 30 brands, quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support, a full factory warranty for all the products that we offer. And how we're able to do what we do here in producing content is through selling watches. So if you are in the market for a watch, we'd absolutely love to have your business. It allows us to keep doing what we're doing here, and we love what we do. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.